Hey everyone, as promised, 1 o'clock sharp. Here I am. Here I am back from this morning if you were here earlier. So today's video is basically for parents, teachers, and childcare providers. So I can give you tons of ideas for teaching kids any age from infants and toddlers, school age children until like junior high school, or even for your teenagers, high school kids. So basically, all kids. And I will try the best I can to kind of break it down into categories, although that's a little difficult because a lot of stuff I want to share. But again, this is for teachers, parents, and childcare providers. It gives you an idea of where you can find materials, what you can do, and how you can do some of it. So I'll try to keep each of my ideas as kind of short as I can. If you have questions, let me know, and I will try the best I can to answer. So these are kind of my notes, and yeah. So I want to get started as soon as possible because I don't want to waste anyone's time. So let's get to it. The first thing I want to say is that since a lot of children are home now, this goes for any time of the year, but a lot of kids are home this moment. It's March 2020, and we are finding ideas of how to work with the children. And a lot of parents I've seen on social media throughout all social platforms, they're having problems having kids sit and do worksheets that were sent home, or they're having problems with the kids focusing or staying focused after a short period of time because I feel that maybe they don't want to do work. They're home. So again, for smaller children, maybe for older children, it might be easier. But for younger kids, it might be hard for you to go from the school setting and then bring kind of the school into the home and do the whole school setting at home when it's supposed to be relaxing time. So that's one of the reasons they might not want to do it. Also, perhaps we got to make it a little more exciting than those worksheets that are being sent home. It's a little easier on those kids that are used to being homeschooled, but yeah, these ideas for anyone that has children and anybody that works with children. It's for everyone, moms and dads. I don't want to leave dads out, so I don't want to say like for moms. Okay, so the first thing is we if you're a YouTuber and you have a channel, perhaps you can find other groups, other YouTubers that are also giving ideas and kind of share ideas with some people. You might have tons of things you want to share. You might have not many things that you want to share, but there's so many people doing this at the moment, homeschooling or helping their kids at home, however you want to word it, that it might be good to bounce ideas back and forth. So that's the first thing. Second idea is if you have a Facebook, I'm sorry, if you have a Facebook account, Facebook also have tons. It has tons of groups of parents that are also going through the same thing as you. You know, some people might have a lot of experience because they already work with kids. So hey, they might have websites. They might have channels that they can watch on TV. If you have a Fire Stick, you can find tons of things there as well. So try to connect and reach out. Don't just go through all this by yourself. Don't just get stressed out and overwhelmed. Reach out to other people. And also, while you're doing that as parents, we can also find that there are helpful things that they can tell us for us to relax, for us to pamper ourselves, or any other ideas they can throw at us to ease these times. So that's the first thing that I want to share with everyone. Find a group, basically like a support group or support group for ideas. Um, so for teaching, let's do the teaching first, and then the second part of the video will be for fun, crafty ideas that I have a few to show you. So ebooks. Ebooks are great. Maybe the children don't want to sit there and read books, especially the older kids, the junior high school kids or elementary or high school. They might not want to sit there and read books, and they're like, we always have to read. Perhaps some of the books that they can read are good, but then they also have the option of ebooks. So ebooks are good for all ages. And if you have smaller kids like toddlers or maybe infants, that might be something you can have them do, maybe kind of see a reading of an ebook while you're trying to get some work on your computer or working, sending emails or anything you're doing on your phone. So that's the first of the options for teaching. Printables. I'm going to briefly give you at least 3 or 4 places you can get some printables from. If you don't have any memberships to any websites that you could print from, some of these are free or all might be free. And if you don't want to print anything, you can create your own. You could someone suggesting Epic is a good app. That may be for the ebook, I guess. You have a free 30-day trial for ebooks on Epic, the app Epic. Thank you to my friend Lourdes. So yes, printables. You could either print your own, make your own things and print them. So I have a bunch of printables here. And so some of them come from a website and some of them were shared by teachers to help me out, or I find images and then I'll put them together and print them out. So you could either have everything done for you, simply print it, or make your own. You could teach about spring. You could maybe draft your own flower and then, put the stem and the flower and the petals and put the roots, all that yourself, and just print it out and make copies for your kids. So this is one thing you can do. You can print these out, cut them out. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm a mom too. I have a 1-year-old, I have a 10-year-old, I have a daycare at home, so I have all their children here too. It's kind of hard for me sometimes, so I understand you guys. So this, you can cut them and you can work on seasons with the kids. It'll buy you some time. I know that the main thing that parents are concerned about is I have to work from home. I have to, send emails. I have to do my own possibly if you're teachers and you're at home, you probably have to do the learning online as well. So you need to buy yourself some time. You print these out, cut them out, and have them pasted on a paper if you don't have anything else. If you want to get crafty, then you can have the little silhouette of people and have them pasted there. As a matter of fact, give me 1 second. So sorry about that. I actually thought about having these handy, but I said I might not need them. I have a lot of things, but this is what I meant a moment ago. This, you can do it at home. You can make this on the computer or do it yourself and just make copies of it. And these are the lines so you can label each part. Real quick, this is also what I meant. I happen to have these, but not everyone does. You could use construction paper. You could use white copy paper. You could use felt. You could use foam paper. You could actually take one of your Amazon boxes or any box that you've been getting them, cut a silhouette of a human, a person, a girl, a boy, or just a gender neutral, and then just paste these on it. So these are awesome. You have the different clothing for different times, either the weather or the seasons. More printables that you can get. So let me tell you some places. Superteacherworksheets.com, K12reader.com, education.com/worksheets, BrainPop. So those are just a few. You can go there and you can actually print things out. Those names that I just mentioned, I will put them in I don't know how to do this live. I don't know if I could just put it here or I could put it in a description. I don't know, but I will try to see how I can share that with you guys. And those that I mentioned is from this pack that I have here for you. So another option, these are D. I don't know if you can see it here, but they're the letter D. You could have them trace and color, and that can have your kids entertained for a while. You have spelling. You can print out. You could just Google frequent words for second graders, third graders, fourth graders from first to, I don't know, I think it's 8th grade. So here you go, per week. If your kids learn faster than having to wait a week, just put 2 weeks in one. That's what I did with my daughter. If I gave her easier words, moving on to the next level. We have math. So we have this. They can do some math on their own or with help. Always make sure, like I did, print out the answer sheets. You could do kind of like, I guess, puzzles or something. They get the answers, they put them here, and then it says something beautiful. In this case, it has a poem. This can go hand in hand, not only with them learning for school in terms of the math, but then they can help you put these to the test. Maybe you could print out a real recipe and explain this first. You could do conversion, and then you can do the meal afterwards. We got to get crafty. We have way too much time with the kids at home. Look at this. Who doesn't like cupcakes? Now, some of these are for younger kids. I'll keep showing you the ones for the younger kids. Check this one out. They could either put the letter of their name, they can put their whole name, and then they can draw a picture that starts with that letter. For example, C is for, let's say, Carlos, Charlton, Cameron, whatever it is, and then they draw a picture of a cupcake. So there you go, putting them together. You could also print it in Spanish. Si hablan español, pueden imprimir en una página para que aprendan las palabras en español. You can print out a page. They can learn letters and words in Spanish. How about this one? This was done here. My assistant at the daycare, she made these, and we just made some copies of them. And so basically you can do, if it's on a flat surface, you can put pom-poms, you can put stickers, 1 sticker, 2 stickers. You can put anything. You could put Cheerios, Fruit Loops. I'm trying to help you guys to get creative in the sense that you might not have all these materials that I have because I work with children all the time, because I have younger kids. But if you guys don't normally have a bunch of things at home to get all crafty and teaching with, then you could use things you already have at home. Maybe for the one that I just showed you, take crayons and put 1 crayon, 2 crayons, 3 crayons, etc. I hope I'm giving you lots of ideas so that you can go back in the video if you're like, oh, I remember this idea about the caterpillar. And so I'll go back and check. See, this is another one that was done at home. Again, you don't have to go to websites and print anything. You do not have to spend money, and then you can't really go outside probably at this point. But again, this is for all year round. You can print these out, or you can make the circles yourself. These are balloons, and then inside of each balloon, they could either color it a different color. So they'll do like little drawings, pink, 1 pink drawing in the first one, 2 green drawings in the second balloon, 3, and so forth. I'm trying to leave the older kids for a moment, so showing you basically for the younger children. And here we have more printables. I happen to love Little Einsteins. It's wonderful for kids as well. That's another thing. You could put them to watch episodes of Little Einsteins. They teach about different composers, and they have lots of fun, entertaining, but very important information that they share for children for teaching purposes. And then the other character, I have all the characters, but I'm just showing you a few. It would be great if your child's name is Annie or any of the other names. So that's good. And I think that was it for the younger kids. So now let's move it on to kids that either are starting to write, they know how to read. You got your, I think I got materials from 1st through 5th grade so far. So one thing you could do is tracing. Either you already have the writing and you're just tracing it. You can't see back down here, but it's basically the same thing. So each day they're practicing and you make multiple copies of it. And then on this point, they can write their own. So if you read a story on Monday, and then they can probably do a little paragraph on Monday, you can do a story on Tuesday and so forth, and you gotta kind of keep this. Also, you can do any books, of course, nonfiction and fiction books. So you read the story, and it says, what is your favorite part of the story? Draw it in the picture frame, and then write about it. So they can draw and write. You can print these out. You can make a box yourself, however you can. This one says, books are like presents. It's fun to guess what's inside. And then you guess you read the title probably, and then you can just have them draw what they think the book is about. These are all things that maybe you get from school, but probably you don't. And maybe you can do them yourself or print them on yourself and have them for your kids. And I feel like depending on the age of the child and depending on their focus, it's something that can kind of buy you some time so you can get your work done. Because I know that's the main problem with parents. They want something they don't have to sit down for a long period of time doing with their kids. They want something that gives them time to get their chores done or get their work done or get things done that they have to do on their own. So again, these are just uh, more things. And you can totally do this one yourself. Also here, this is from the Brain Pop, and you can draw about something you want to do. Probably if your kid sits down and you let them know, okay, you can sit them down, let's say 10 minutes or something, 5, 10 minutes, 15, depending on their focus level. And then say, okay, so draw what you want to do later this afternoon or after your nap or after lunch or after dinner, however you want to say. Draw what you want to do, have them take their time, make a drawing, and then try as best you can to do it later. If you know you can't do it later, then say, how about tomorrow we can do something us together and spend quality time. But right now, mom has to work, or dad has to work, or grandpa, whoever has the children, and then they spend time doing that. You get your things done, and then just make sure you kind of go and do what they want to do later on. We got puzzles, of course, regular puzzles. You have coloring puzzles, but there's another kind of puzzle you can do other than your traditional. Don't ask why I'm missing some pieces. The kids did this today. Other than your traditional puzzles, I wanted to show you another kind of puzzle. One you can make at home. Again, you can use a cardboard box. You can use paper stock, regular paper. It doesn't have to be laminated. Anything you can find, anything you can get your hands on. An old notebook, cut the front part of the back part of it. And so this is what I want to show you. I got this. I had this lying around. And so you write the kid's name. I just randomly had picked the name before because I was doing a lesson. So you write the child's name and then you cut upward and you make it into pieces. You do 2 copies. One on top, you put on the table, so one on top, and the cut pieces, you scatter them on the bottom and have the child put the pieces together to create their name. It could be their name, or it could be sight words that they're studying for school, or any vocabulary words that you want to show them. So it's not just their name. It could be anything in relation to anything. So that's another thing. So we got printables, we have ebooks, we have groups for moms to check out. Now online sites, I have ABC Mouse, I have Brain Pop, Khan Academy, and an app for my iPad. I have for my kids Little Writer app. And I was gonna show that to you, but my daughter took the iPad. So yeah, the Little Writer app, it's basically showing them the kids how to trace the letters, capital, lowercase, the numbers, and I don't know if like they have like this I don't remember what else, but I know it's letters and upper and lowercase letters. So that could keep them entertained. Believe me, you can give them the tablet and have them trace and trace, and then you swipe, and then it goes to the next letter. If they don't want to trace that letter, they can actually swipe it themselves. They don't have to wait until they trace the whole thing. And then also you could assess there how much they know. But Khan Academy has to do with math that I mentioned. ABC Mouse, a lot of you know it. It has to do with like colors and shapes and sizes and numbers and all of that. And it goes up to, I believe, 2nd grade. The Khan Academy, I think, goes up to the end of high school. The Little Writers is for younger kids since they're just starting. And Brain Pop has for a lot of different ages going into, I think, the end of elementary. Not sure after that. So yes. Okay. Other thing you can do, if you have absolutely no supplies, you got caught off guard, you do not own books, you do not have a printer, you do not have any arts and crafts, anything to teach the kids. So this is what you do. You use what you have at home. You use your shoes, clothing, like laundry, clean laundry, please. um, you use toys. So let's say you're teaching your kids either size, like about sizes, you're teaching them colors, or you're teaching them about the weather. Let's take those 3. You could use clothing or shoes, or clothing, shoes, clothing and shoes. Well, clothing and shoes, I say. So one thing kids can do is organize either their shoes or the family shoes. Here, we don't come in with our shoes on. We actually leave our shoes in the entrance and we switch and put indoor shoes. So outdoor shoes stay in the front, and then we use indoor shoes and switch when we go back out. So I noticed that the kids love to put things in order. Some kids color code the shoes. So they'll put the shoes, I have a monitor, let's say for that day. Well, now with the whole sanitizing and all that, not really. We do that part, but we have the kids color code the shoes, so you can put them by color. They sometimes put the shoes by size order, so they'll put the staff's shoes or sandals from indoors, and then they'll put the older kids' shoes, and then they'll put the little infant shoes, and it's so cute, and it helps them with that, with the sorting, by color, by size. Or, for example, let's say that today is raining and you have your regular shoes at the door, you have sandals, and you have rain boots. So the kids can sort those by the weather. So if it's raining, which shoes would go first, or which shoes go here, or what shoes go together? And then they'll put those together. If it's cold outside, what shoes we put together, and they'll put the boots or they'll put the heavy sneakers. And if we're indoors, what shoes we put. So those are various ways that they can do that. In terms of using laundry to help the kids with their work, if they don't want to sit and do the worksheets, you could do the same thing. How about we put in this pile, we're going to put all your clothes. Let's say your kid is a school age kid. We're gonna put theirs here, your child's here, the baby's here, and then mom's and dad's here. Identify whose is which. How about we put the graphic tees in this pile, and then the rest of the clothing in this pile? Well, what is a graphic tee? And then you explain what a graphic tee is. So use things that you have in your pantry at home, if you're in, especially right before you have a meal, so that way they have a lesson and then they eat and they associate it together. You can read a book, or you can have your kids sort out the pastas, give them a little bunch of different pastas and have them sorted out. All the bow ties go together, all the rotini goes together, all the spaghettis go together. Give them a little portion of each in the best clean environment you can, and then cook pasta that day. And so you're teaching them sorting, you're teaching them sizes, you're teaching them counting, and then they're eating. So I feel that if you use your five senses to learn, it's just much easier to remember things. Okay, so what if you don't have infants, toddlers, preschool, school age? What about if your kids are older? Again, kids can go from newborns to 18 years old. If you have teenagers, so what do you do then? So I was thinking that for teenagers, we could teach them about finances. We can have them do checks and balances, how to save money, or how to invest wisely. If that is something that's strong to you, if you know about these topics, then you can help your kids understand. That's a really good lesson. I do it with my now 10-year-old, but I've been doing that with her for the past few years. You could teach them how to write a check. Also, like, my daughter has been learning how to write a check for a long time. She helps me with the balancing of my books at home. I involve her in doing budgeting. I explain to her about how to handle money, how to save, how to invest, all those things. You can work with your teenagers if you have teenagers. Because I know, for example, me, I have a 21-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 1-year-old. So when I speak to you guys as a parent, as a child provider, as a teacher, as you can say, I'm speaking from experience. All these ideas I'm giving you, I've already included them in my home. I've already included them at my daycare. So these are not just ideas I'm just bringing out to you. These are ideas. These are things I have and I use all the time. So yeah, again, teach them about the finances and work with them. They're going to need this in the future anyway. So why not start now that we have a bunch of time on our hands? Or supposedly we have a lot of time on our hands. We still have to work, a lot of us. The other thing is cooking or doing laundry. This is a great moment to get crafty and savvy about teaching your kids, but also getting your things done. Balancing that life of still working at home while you still have your kids. You have to teach them and you have to entertain them. So now you're like doing 1,000 things at once. We were already doing a lot of things. Now we're doing more. So they can help you with the laundry. They can help you with the cooking. And keep something else in mind. If you have a teenager and you're like, oh, teach them about the laundry and the cooking. Well, aren't those things you do at home anyway? Do you plan on your child going to college? Because if you plan on your child going to college, it's good that you teach them about finances and make them financially literate more than ever before. It's also good that they learn those responsibilities for when they do finish high school and they do end up going to college, your teenagers, then they'll have more stability. Then they will have those tools that they need. So even if you're going to teach them that at some point, maybe this time is a really good time to get started on that. Okay, back to the younger kids for infants and toddlers and preschoolers, possibly even early school age students or children. Leapfrog videos, Your Baby Can Read, and Baby First. Those are really good and they're also fun. So now that we've got through a bunch of teaching, pretty much teaching ideas, now it's the most awesome part for me that I love. I love teaching too, but I'm going to show you guys arts and crafts. I'm going to give you some ideas, but I'm also going to show you things we already did. So again, these are things that we do, not just randomly giving you these thoughts. So 1 second. See, I'm back. That was quick. All right. So crafty ideas to do with your children. Look at this. This is awesome. You guys can get a good view. So if you notice what this is, it is a nest. So we did a nest with the younger kids here at my daycare. Here's another one of another child. And you can use random things you find around. So we use construction paper. I don't think this one has. So this one has construction paper. And I picked this up recently at the dollar store. But if you have shredded paper, if you have a shredder at home, you could shred the paper. Take a construction paper or take a copy paper if you have a copy machine. Color it in brown or something, have it shredded with your shredder and use it. So I'm telling you, we got to get crafty. So construction paper, this is supposed to be like for twigs and things like that. I went to the kitchen and I found bay leaves, and that's what I used for this. So these are things to find at home. Also pipe cleaners, feathers, and googly eyes, and construction paper. So that's an awesome idea to do with your kids. If you can take a container or a bin, put all your supplies inside, and then give it to the children, give them a sample, and go about doing what you have to do, obviously, as long as you're supervising them a bit, and they can just go ahead and sky's the limit. Those are paper plates, by the way. The next one is bunnies. It's spring, or it should be spring soon. And so I thought this would be cute to share. The ears are all over the place. The ears are from a cotton ball. I only used one cotton ball for these two projects for the ears, and then one cotton ball each for the tail. So 3 cotton balls was good enough for these two activities. Googly eyes and the buttons. Now these are not finished. If the kids want to color the rest of the bunnies, if they want to make a mouth with a crayon or a marker, or if you want to do the mouth and do it with a Sharpie. So those are cute. I have this lying around because I have in my office, I have a bunch of Post-its or just memo pads. And so I have this big one, different colors. You can cut them in and do hearts. You can use these to teach shapes. You can have write notes for your kids, do like riddles and have them solve it. So this is a lot of ideas you can do with that too. Oh, yes. Hold on. So here I have these awesome crafts. I don't know if you can see the glitter. It's basically like a foam sheet. It's foam sheets, but with glitter. So these are the foam sheets, just in case you have your regular foam sheets around. But these actually came in glitter. And then you have, that was an egg, you have a butterfly, and you have a bluebird. You could do one side with the glitter, one side that doesn't have any glitter, or both sides glitter. Hang them up, and then they hang them up in a way that they can turn, If you have them close to a window, it's cute because they go turning around. That's how we have them here. I hang them up with a cloth spin, so that's awesome. Then check this out. Remember, this whole video has to do with trying to use the resources you have. In this case, things at home. As you can see, this is from an old box. This portion was from a box too. It's just one piece on top of this piece. When it was cut on the top, it was cut straight. And these parts that stick out are actually glued on. Put these around. I happen to have props. Why? Because I had a parent bring her child yesterday. Thank you very much. I had her bring her child in yesterday, and she happened to have these left over from a party she did. She was obviously doing some spring cleaning, which a lot of us are doing as well. And she had all these awesome items left over. This also, she had more here from her son's laboratory birthday. A bunch of more props. She gave me goggles. So anyway, so yes. So you can take the props. You could do a photo booth yourself. And you can have the kids take pictures. They take our phones anyway and take selfies. So unless you have like a camera that you don't mind them messing up, or if you have an old phone, just charge it up and let the kids take pictures. And let the kids take pictures. So that's another thing you can do. This old raggedy box is a box of cotton swabs. Wait, no, yeah, cotton swabs. So these are not stuff that we use to clean anything ourselves, but it's used for arts and crafts. So I happen to have these because I bought another one. So I have these cotton swabs, and you can help your kids, maybe if they're learning about DNA or things like that, they can connect them and do like the DNA chain. You can color the corners. That way you can get the whole chain looking just like the DNA. You could also do with those, build. They can build things. You can build it on top of a box. You could take the box that I showed you in the back. Let's say you have this piece of cardboard. On the cardboard, they could use those cotton swabs and they can create something. So instead of using blocks, or instead of using Legos, things like that, they can just create something with those. They can build a house, they can build a park, they could playground, anything they want to build. So there's a lot of options you can do with cotton swabs. Let's see what else with the cotton swab. Oh, cotton swabs are great for doing art. So instead of, if you're using finger art, you don't have to use your finger. Some kids don't like to touch anything that's either sticky or wet, like a wet feeling or cold. And when you touch paint, it's normally like has a cold feeling. Take the cotton swab, let them wet the cotton swab in the paint, and then have them color with the swab as opposed to their finger or as opposed to a paintbrush. You could use them for, well, when it's winter time, like if it was to be, if you're teaching about season, it could be right now or anytime during the year. If you're teaching about the seasons and comparing them, when you can draw a tree on a paper, just two lines going in, like going down and out, and then they can put the sticks, and that would represent the season of winter, and then compare that to the season of spring, to the season of this. If you need a moment and you want to have them sit alone and you're not doing it with them and they're old enough, like and you're close by, please, no accidents, you could actually pull up a picture on your phone and then have them see the picture and then do it themselves. I also happen to have these around, and I read a book on habitats. So different habitats for people around the world in different countries or in different terrains. And then I had the kids use regular, actually I had the straws that were white with the stripes, but this is okay. This is also good. You could cut them into smaller pieces and have them, like, you know how the three little pigs, how they use the house of sticks? They could use cotton swabs or they could use straws, and then you put them together and you make a house of sticks. So you read the book and follow it by the activity, or do a house of sticks and follow it by the book, however you want to do it. Paint. So give the kids paint, and if you don't have any paper or anywhere for them to paint, good old boxes. Boxes are always good for kids to paint. So we had two kids actually share this box. The box came like this. That's it, closed over here. So I was like, what am I gonna do with this box? It's hard to get inside. And then my 10-year-old said, oh, let's open the box flat like this. And then each kid knows what side they're working on. So we sat the kids next to each other. Well, not too close, like meaning in front of each other. And then one worked on one side, one worked on the other side. And they had the best of time, and that kept them busy for over half an hour, I think. Well, at least half an hour. That's a pretty long time to keep the attention of your child. And it gives you time to either cook a quick meal for half an hour, or it gives you enough time to get other activities ready or work with another child. If you give that to your younger kids, you could actually work with your older children while they're doing that, and they love it. They love getting inside and coloring all over. This I used in another video that I had made, a quick other video that I had shared, and the same thing. You could get inside and color all around. You can color on the outside, include stickers or googly eyes or whatever you have around the house. Hey, if you have extra pasta lying around and you don't mind them using it for arts and crafts, they can glue it all over, and they can do that as well. So those are a bunch of ideas that I have. If you guys have any questions on more ideas that you want me to share, let me know. But for now, I think the video has been long enough. Thank you so much for you guys tuning in, watching my video, and giving me the support that you always give me. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to smile. Love you guys.